Right, let's do a bit of Everton. Carlo Ancelotti was in the dugout for his first game yesterday. They obviously beat Burnley 1-0. Not a modern-day classic, I'm not sure. Let's talk to Adam Partington from the GrandOldTeam, which is, he can explain exactly what that is. Adam, how are you doing?
Hey, Max. Season's greetings.
Season's greetings to you.
Are we still saying that or not? Are we allowed to still say that? We are.
Say whatever you like. What is the GrandOldTeam for non-Everton fans? Describe what you do.
The GrandOldTeam's an Everton fan site that's been around for well over a decade now, and a forum. But I host the videos, so we do post-match kind of videos outside the ground with fans, a bit like Arsenal Fan TV, but without the lunatics. Frankly,
I was going to say,
and more scousers. So yeah,
yourself aside, Adam, of course. Yeah, present company excluded.
and what sort of morose decade it's been for you guys?
Do you struggle for material, Adam?
Well, Max, last time I was on, I think you asked me what the point of Everton was, and I couldn't quite give you an answer. I think you apologised for it, and I said no at the time. I didn't quite understand either. But I think
it's a rude question, by the way.
But I didn't mean it in that. I didn't mean it in a pejorative way. It's just hard to be an Everton fan because there's so much about Everton which is great. I love Goodison Park. I know they're moving to a new stadium. I love it. I think it's a great club with great history, but in its current form, and that's the actually interesting thing about Carlo Ancelotti,
exactly,
Adam.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know what you think, because I think what I found is my reaction was I'm surprised by this appointment because it doesn't seem like the sort of club in the sort of space and place that Ancelotti would go to. And Everton fans criticised me for saying, what, are we not allowed any ambition? Presumably you are excited by this appointment.
Yeah, I am. I don't blame yourself and others in the press for asking the question to a certain extent. I think it depends how the question's put to us, I suppose. I mean, yeah, ultimately Everton, like any other club, have a right to try and be ambitious and to and for so long, we've lads, the last 4 seasons we've spent a hell of a lot on recruiting players and trying to aim for players that are going to obviously improve us. And then I think we've all kind of wondered why that same investment maybe hasn't been put into like a world-class manager, but now we have one. So it's incredibly exciting. I still pinch myself. It hasn't quite sunk in yet. Seeing him yesterday on the touchline, it's just strange, because that's because as an Evertonian, me, just recently turned 30. I've not seen that calibre of manager at Everton, but it is very exciting, and I think finally now it feels like we've got a manager to match our ambitions, and let's hope it's not another false dawn.
Well, I think it is important to kind of get a bit of a reality check on that, because when Carlo Ancelotti was hired, there was a lot of sucking through teeth, wasn't there? But I'm not sure if he's the right man for this, and he normally manages this type of club, and he does this, that, and the other.
I said all of those things.
But the man has won 4 European Cups as a player and a manager. He's an incredibly well-decorated coach with an amazing career as a player. And, no disrespect to Everton, but this is kind of the best manager they surely could have hoped for, right, Adam?
No, it is, absolutely. I mean, I was on Hawkesbury and Jacobs. When was it now? About 2 weeks ago.
Do you prefer them to us, Adam? I mean, is that what you keep mentioning?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now I'm speaking to you directly. You're doing a terrific job.
Thank you.
But at this is how mental things are. At the time, they were asking me whether or not I would want David Moyes to return, and I was quoting them a survey that had been conducted by GrandOldTeam on the website, a poll where 80% of Evertonians had said that they didn't want David Moyes to return. So that was the conversation that we were having. Now, Ancelotti's name was being mentioned at the time, and I'll hold my hands up as an Evertonian. I was like, I think we're dreaming. Because ultimately, from that, at that point, I was thinking, this was after the Chelsea game, but I was thinking, I'm not too sure, at this moment in time, why Ancelotti would choose Everton. But obviously, he's been sold a dream. He must have been promised the funds to be able to do what he wants to do. And I think what I will say, I always come on this, I always caveat everything I say, doing what I do, is that I'm not talking for other Evertonians, but given what I do, I get a good kind of a canvas of opinion. And what I would say is that as Evertonians, no one's getting too carried away with this. We all kind of understand that this is going to take time. And at the moment, he doesn't have the calibre of player that he's had at his previous jobs. He just doesn't. But he does have a lot to work with. And as I said, I'm personally quietly confident that this is the right appointment, and we'll see some success with Ancelotti. How that takes its form, how that manifests itself, I'm not sure. I don't want to put anything specific on that, gents. But ultimately this is a very, very good appointment for Everton. And I think it's not just one way. I think there are certain things where Ancelotti will look at Everton and go, I've got stuff I can work with here, else he wouldn't have taken the job.
Now, Luke and I both wanted to ask you a question next.
Okay.
So you can hear both questions and choose whichever one you'd prefer to answer. My question was, did he do anything different yesterday against Burnley? What was your question going to be?
My question is, will there ever be a boy born that can swim faster than a shark?
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Mine was going to be about Calvert-Lewin. Just how he's hung around, how he seems to have done a lot better. I think he's got 6 Premier League goals now already this season. And what managers consistently see in him, despite the fact that he's played under about 400 of them.
Right. Yeah. Well, as it's Christmas, I will answer them both.
Oh,
I will do my best to answer them both. No problem, Max. I suppose that's why you had me on to a certain extent.
Vaguely,
so,
yeah.
The first one on whether or not Ancelotti, made a tangible difference within I think he's had like 3 sessions with the lad. So again, you have to kind of take that as it is and say, well, he's not going to have had a chance yet to stamp his authority on the side. What I would say is there were a couple of tweaks. I think a massive compliment to Duncan Ferguson, because Ancelotti said after, he wanted to maintain what he's done. He didn't want to make too many drastic changes because, Duncan's found a formula that worked. He made an interesting change on the right-hand side. Seamus Coleman came in at right back and he moved to DB forward, who had a terrific game, and he wanted his fullbacks to bomb on and to have the ball in Burnley's off. It's always a tricky game, Burnley at home. I think I'm not saying anything that controversial there. Sometimes it can be really hard to break them down, and it was yesterday. But ultimately, we did that, and that might not have happened under previous regimes. With regards to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I confessed on Twitter earlier that I was wrong about him. To be honest, I was a Calvert-Lewin skeptic. I wasn't too sure whether or not he would blossom in the way that he has. But in the last couple of weeks, he's really come on, and he whether or not he'll get copious amounts of goals every season, I'm not too sure. But he does seem to increase his tally season on season, and I think when he plays up top with someone else around him, a little bit closer to him, it brings the best out of him. So I think, and also again, Ancelotti was quite complimentary of Dominic Calvert-Lewin after the match, so that's good as well. So I'm really pleased with him, and as an Evertonian, I like him as well.
Yeah, fine header, wasn't it? Listen, Adam, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Cheers, Adam.
No, thanks for having me on, gents.
And no existential questions about the point of life or the point of Everton this time. So you got away with it. I think Ancelotti should have taken, brought Moise Keane off and then taken him off again, just to make Duncan Ferguson feel better about his reign.
Yeah,
substitute, and then substituted whoever he brought on.
Key to happiness at Everton is clearly going to be keeping Duncan Ferguson happy, because he is a terrifying man. So it's a sensible thing to do.
Yeah. But actually, much more softly spoken.
Which makes it worse.
No one had heard him speak.
It makes it worse.
I see.
It's just more sinister. He just seems like the nicest man in the world.
Like Anthony
That's the
Hopkins.
thing.